Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the YouTube channel of Cody's Footy World, and welcome back to yet another NRL tipping video. Hope you guys are doing very well on this very lovely Tuesday afternoon, 4:30 p.m., just a little bit after. Sorry for the apologies for not going out the correct time. Just had a few technical issues, but we are good to go. This week, we're only 5 rounds left to go in the regular season. It is also Indigenous round for round 23, and next week as well, Indigenous round will be spread across 2 rounds rather than the usual one we've had for the time being. So every team gets the chance to have a home game for Indigenous round, which is amazing to see. Hopefully, we can keep it for 2 rounds as going for the future. But anyways, guys, hope you guys are doing very well. I'm sure I am, but after last week, though, I'm hoping we could do a lot more better. But anyways, if you guys are new around here, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new around here, and don't forget to click that notification bell so you don't miss out when a video gets posted. Anyways, guys, we'll just go through last week's tips to see how much we got correct, and let's see how much we got wrong. So last week, I started off very good with winning the first 2 games. Melbourne winning over Para 16-10 and Dolphins just 2018. And then for the next 3 game, so the next game, which was my game, we unfortunately got flogged. Penrith had a interesting game against Gold Coast. Raiders finally snapped their 9-10 game losing streak. Manly were terrible. Tigers, what an upset! Didn't expect that to win. Said Dogs lose and got the Sharks right. So managed to get 4 out of 8 games correct last week. A little bit better than the week before, but still need to do better with these tippings. I'm probably only just below 100 at the moment, which is not good. But anyways, without further ado, let's get into the round 23 NRL tips. And we start off with a blockbuster game kicking off on Thursday night from Amy Park, kicking off at 7:50 p.m. on Thursday. We have the Melbourne Storm taking on the Brisbane Broncos. Now, last week, the Melbourne had a steady and close win over the Eels, 16-10 at CommBank last Thursday night. And as for the Broncos, well, Broncos had a smashing of a night, logging my boys winning 60 points to 14. And we'll just keep it at that, and let's go through the team list for both teams. Excuse me. Trent Liero is back on deck after being rested for last week. So Astera Larasti goes to the bench, and Bronson Garlick makes way. Alec McDonald is listed in the reserves as he looks to return from a rib injury at sideline him since round 18. And as for the Broncos, Payne Haas is back on deck after an infection. Xavier Wilson is sidelined with a broken arm suffered against last week. Corey Prax is listed among the reserves as he looks to return from a elbow injury. So not many changes for both teams, but Payne Haas is a big inclusion for the Broncos after missing last week's game due to infection. For this one, as I stated in this vlog, I'm going to back Melbourne in this one. Melbourne to win, 13 plus, revenge against the Broncos. One of the few lucky times I would actually cheer on Melbourne, because fuck the Broncos fans, they were hassled, dealt with at Suncorp last week and kept getting harassed by them as soon as leaving the stadium. Just wanted to head back to where I was staying. God, they wanted the worst fan, but they're the worst fan base outside of New South Wales, I can tell you that. Melbourne to win 13 plus. Melbourne to win by 16. We'll go 34-18 scoreline. First try scorer comes from the Broncos. We will go Reece Walsh to score first. Anytime try scorers, Ryan Paffenhausen will also go Jordan Bricky to score. Melbourne to win 13 plus. Now we move into our two Friday night clashes. First one kicking off from 6 p.m. from McDonald Jones Stadium up in Newcastle. We have the Newcastle Knights against the Penrith Panthers. The Knights had their third and final bye last week. The week before that, they were fronted by the Raiders in Canberra, 44 points to 18. That's for the Panthers. They had a lucky win against the Titans, going out 24-0, letting the Titans come back 26-24, and Nathan Cleary kicks a 2-point field goal and goes to golden point, and I think Casey McLean was the try scorer and goes over. They win 30 points to 26. Now we know about the controversy. The trainer for the Panthers went from Jaden Campbell for the kick, and it missed. Were they robbed? There's a reason to be so, but I don't think so. but they were lucky to win that game last week. That's for sure. Now let's go into this team list for both teams. So for the Knights, Bradman Best returns from a knee injury. Jake Arthur comes in at halfback for his club debut, with Tyson Gamble dropping the 18th man. Jackson Hastings and Jack Harrington have been replaced on the bench by Thomas Kent and Elijah Sally Sales Louis Monoleo. However you pronounce that name. Sorry for the butcher of the name. As for Panthers, Isaiah Yeo, they've lost to a shoulder injury, so Isaiah Papali'i shifts to lock and Lee Martin starts in the second row. Scott Sorensen is back from a leg injury, but Lauren Patello suffered a collarbone injury, is sidelined. So massive blow there for the Panthers, losing their co-captain of Isaiah Yeo. But I think Panthers will still be too good in this one. Panthers to win in this game. However, I think Panthers will just win 1-12. Panthers to win by 12. Scoreline of 26-14. First try scorer will go Casey McLean. Anytime try scorers go Brian Toto, it will also go Dane Gagai. And don't forget, these two had play in Origin affected. Knights did win 25 points to 6, but I think Panthers will shut them up for good this time. Panthers to win 1-12. Now we move into our final Friday night fixture, kicking off from 8 p.m. at GIO Stadium in the nation's capital. We have the Canberra Raiders against the Manly Sea Eagles. Now, on Sunday, Manly lost to the Roosters in blistering conditions, 20 points to 4. That's for the Raiders. The game before Manly Roosters, they lost to the Dragons at WIN Stadium, snapping their 9 or 10 game losing streak, 18 points to 12 in horrible conditions. But Raiders are looking to bounce back, and Manly are fighting for a top 8 spot. Let's go for the team list for both teams. So Canberra rolls out the same 17 that lost to the Dragons. The Raiders have won 9 from 10 at home in this year. For the Manly, Lehigh Hopewade will see Tom Travojevic return to fullback after 5 games in the centres. Tommy Talau moves from the bench to the centres, and Aaron Schrobb joins the bench. Rightio, Ben Travojevic suffered a concussion, so Michael Sheekham comes in, plays his first game of the season. Really? Canberra, 13+. Raiders to win by 14, 28-14 scoreline. First try scorer, we will go Jed Stewart score first. Anytime try scorers will go Joseph Tarpany. And for Manly, we'll go Jason Saab to score. So Canberra to win, 13+. Now we move into our first of 3 Super Saturday fixtures. The first one kicking off at 3 p.m. We have a Southern Sydney Derby rivalry, next door neighbours to each other. From Jubilee Stadium, we have the St George Illawarra Dragons against the Cronulla Sharks. Now, last week, the Dragons having a lucky win over the Raiders, winning 18 points to 12. And that's for the Sharks in the last game, winning 32 points to 12 against the Cowboys. Now let's go through the team list for both teams. So Flanagan's gone with the name set with Flanagan's gone with the same 17 that beat the Raiders, chasing back-to-back wins. Tyrell Sloan will be out to continue his hot streak that has seen him score 6 tries in his last 5 games. And as for the Sharks, Toby Rudolph joins the bench in his return from concussion in place of Jesse Cullen. Billy Burns is listed as 18th man. For this one, Sharks to win. I mean, there's a chance for the Dragons to win this one. They were lucky, but I think Sharks will win this one. Sharks have won 10 in a row against the Dragons as well. Dragons have not won since 2018 or 2019. Sharks to win by 1-12, however. Sharks to win by 8. First try scorer comes from the Dragons. We will go Tyrell Sloan score first. Anytime try scorers will go Damien Cook from Dragons, and for the Sharks will go Sano Katoa to score. So Sharks to win 1-12. Now we move into our second game on Saturday from Suncorp Stadium for the second time this year. We have the Dolphins taking on the Sydney Roosters. Now last Saturday, the Roosters won in blistering conditions, 20 points to 4 against Manly. And that's Dolphins within the last 30 seconds of the game, getting a last-minute try, winning 20 points to 18 over there at Mount Smart Stadium against the Warriors there last Friday night. Incredible. They've lost Herbie Farnworth to a hamstring injury, massive blow, but give them credit. They were amazing, and they came back to win. What a game! What a win that was for them. And as for the Well, I already said that. Roosters. Let's go through the team list for both teams. Maybe Farnworth suffered a hamstring injury, so which sees Zafida, Nafua sliding to the centres after 2 games on the wing. Mark Nichols starts in place of Felice Kafusi. He's been suspended, while Kuyaki Feriaki returns from a thumb injury suffered back in round 19. For the Roosters, they stick with the same 17 with Victor Radley and Connor Watson named the start after coming off the bench last week. Brendan Louis and Spencer Lindy go to the bench, but late positional changes could be switched for a must-win clash. So the Roosters are fighting for a top 8 spot as well. Dolphins, I think they're already locked in to make the top 8. Look at their points differential, but obviously the amount of injuries they've suffered at the moment, that could be a bit hard for them. But for this game, I know Roosters beat them back in Magic Round, but I think Dolphins return the favour. Dolphins win this one. Dolphins to win by 6. 24-18 scoreline. First try scorer goes to the Roosters for Daniel Tupou. Anytime try scorers, you already know the hammer's going to go over. So we'll also go Cody Nikorima, and we'll also go Sam Walker to score for the Roosters. So we'll go Dolphins to win 1-12. And our final Super Saturday fixture kicks off at 7:35 p.m. from McCall Stadium. We have the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs against the New Zealand Warriors, a top 4 must-win battle for both teams. Now, last week, the Warriors fell short to the Dolphins, 20 points to 18, Dolphins scoring in the last minute to win that game, 2018. And as for the Dogs, well, the Doggies, shocking. They don't seem to play well in the rain. They lost 28-14 to a Tigers side. Unbelievable. That was one of the most shocking games I've seen from the Dogs this year. Let's go through the team list for both teams. No panicking at the Bulldogs as Cameron Sasado is sticking with the same 17 that suffered a loss to the Tigers. Lachlan Calvin has been named to play despite battling a hand and ankle niggles that may require painkillers needles. Toby Sexton's part of the extended squad and could be recalled should Galvin fail. And for the Warriors, Channels Harris Tavita is back on deck from a calf injury, and James Fitch Harris is part of the extended squad as he returns from a calf injury as well. Tadari Martin slides into the interchange after filling at 5'8", and Brady Lussick drops to 8th man. Dimitri Valmunga is also back on deck from a knee injury, but bench forward Jacob Levin and hooker Wayne Egan face living stints on the sideline. This is a must-win game for both teams. Warriors are looking to lock in the top 4, but if they lose, they could say goodbye to that top 4 spot. And as for the Bulldogs, well, they're looking just to get a home, try and get a home's final game, I guess, for the time being. They've already locked in for a top 4 spot. But for this game, I reckon the Dogs bounce back and Dogs win 1-12 by 10 points. We'll go 30 points to 20 scoreline. First try scorer comes from the Warriors. We'll go RTS to score first. Anytime try scorers, we'll go Jacob Carraz and we'll also go Daniel Tanya-Lisiak to score. So Bulldogs to win 1-12. Now we move into our Sunday ticket games. The first game kicking off at 2 p.m. from Citybus Super Stadium on the Glitter Strip. And of course, yours truly is going to be there for the first time ever. We have the Gold Coast Titans against the South Sydney Rabbitohs in the 2025 Spoon Bowl clash, I guess you can say. Now, last week, I'll start with the Titans first. Titans were down 24-0. They came back to leading 26-24. Unfortunately, the Panthers trainer ran in front of the goal kicker on purpose, which led to Jaden Campbell missing. Went to Golden Point with a 2-point field goal from Cleary, and Panthers go on the win 30-26. Honestly, Titans, I think that's one of the few times this year I think they would have won if it wasn't for the trainer, but they were very unlucky against Penrith, but a really good comeback in that second half. And as for my boys, well, the worst game of the year I've seen, we were thrashed 60 points to 14 at Suncorp Stadium against the Broncos. Not a good game and horrible sights, but that first half from the boys was very good. At least we got to try in that second half, but to concede 60 points, that's just terrible. The first time we've conceded 60 since 2017 as well. And the second time we've conceded 50 points or more as well this year. So Not the best, but this is a must-win game for us if we want to avoid the spoon. But let's go for the team list for both teams. So for the Titans first, Khan Pereira comes onto the wing in place of Philip Sami, who suffered a HIA last week, or 2 separate HIAs. Chris Randall returns into the back row, so Jacob Alec Welkin goes to the bench and Tom Weaver makes way. Now for the boys. Latrell Mitchell is back on deck in the reserves as he closed on a return from a quad injury. I reckon Latrell will slide in at fullback. I don't know if Jai Gray will make way, but we will see what will happen. Brendan Smith returns from a knee injury, and he's playing his 150th game as well. Congratulations to the Chiefs. Jamie Humphreys and Peter Mamazoulis back at halfback and the bench respectively will line up this week. Ryan Gray, Lewis Dodd and Tyrone Munro drop out. Well, Tyrone Munro was 18th man and Lewis Dodd's nowhere to be seen, and Ryan Gray has suffered a shoulder injury. This is going to be a very fun game to watch, honestly, because I'll tell you what. We have lost 9 in a row. Titans have been the better team at least for the last 4 weeks. However, Titans have not beaten us since 2016. We have won 9 in a row against the Titans, dating back to 2016, or 2017 rather. And we have won 10 in a row games at Cbus Super Stadium against the Titans. Titans haven't beaten us at Cbus Super Stadium since 2009. That is crazy to think about. And it's pretty much a home game for us as well. And this is also going to be my first time going to Cbus Super Stadium as well. One of the last few stadiums I've yet to attend. So I'm going to say this. It's going to be a high-scoring game. Rabbitohs to win. I haven't said this much this year. Rabbitohs to win 13+. Rabbitohs to win by 18. We'll go scoreline of 42-24. High-scoring game. I say 40 points or more because in our last 2 games, we've scored 46 points against the Titans, and they've both been 13+. The Titans have never won 13+ against us. We'll go first try scorer. Goes to the Titans, however. Khan Pereira gets the first try. Anytime try scorers, we will go both thermal. And for the Rabbitohs, AJ goes over for a double. And we will also see Ewan Aiken go over for a try as well. So, come on, boys. Time to sap this 9-game losing streak. And if we win, this game guarantees we will avoid the spoon because we've still got a bye on our hands as well. Titans do not, and we'll be 2 wins clear of the Titans as well. So, come on, Rabbits. Show up. 13+. Let's go. And now we move into our last game of round 23, kicking off at 4:05 p.m. down at CommBank Stadium. We have the Parramatta Eels against the North Queensland Cowboys. Now, on Sunday, Cowboys were flogged 32-12, and as for the Eels, had a close loss to the Storm, 16-10. Let's go for the team list for both teams. Campbell Talangi has been added to the bench after returning from suspension for New South Wales Cup. Jordan Samarani comes into the centres in place of Sean Russell. Dylan Walker has been named to start at lock with Luke Moriata moving to the bench. Sam Tahurula of Italy suffered a grade 2 MCL injury against the Storm. Will miss the rest of the season. As for the Cowboys, this is massive. Jason Tamalolo, Jake Clifford, Fiami Falia, and Thomas McKaylee are back on deck for this game. Zach Laybuck moves from the centre to the wings in place of Robert Derby. Jason Tomalolo takes over from Griffin Neem. This will be his first game since round 9. Tomalolo will play as well. Jamarai Nane goes back into the forwards after starting in the centres last week. Jackson Purgey moves to 5'8", from 5'8" centre rather. Winger Semi Vailea of Bellamy slipping among the reserves as he looks to return from a broken draw. I reckon this is going to be along the Rabbits-Titans game, one of the tougher games to pick this round. For this one, though, I don't see Eels losing 2 in a row at CommBank. Well, I'm going to go Eels to win in this one, 1-12. As much as I even with the Rabbits winning, I think Titans will win, and Cowboys have just been terrible this year. Eels to win by 6, 18-12 scoreline. First try scorer will go to Josh Adokar. Anytime try scorers, we'll see Jemarai Nanai, and we'll also go Dylan Walker to score to go over. So Eels to win 1-12. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to wrap up my round 23 tips of the 2025 season. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. Don't forget, this stream, I should say, rather. Don't forget to like the stream, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new around here, and don't forget to click that notification bell so you don't miss out when a video gets posted. Anyways, guys, good luck to you teams this week. Only 5 rounds to go. So the teams that are fighting for the 8 already made the 8. These last 5 weeks are going to be very important. And as for the teams in the bottom, well, it's time to avoid the spoon. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. Fuck the Titans, and good luck to your teams this week. See you in the next one.